Right, in this video I'm going to show you how to reassemble your Mosin Nagant M44. This is kind of a part 2 to my original one where I did the disassembly of the Mosin Nagant, and now I got everything cleaned, so I'm going to go ahead and put it back together. I'm going to start here with the trigger area. So you'll see that there's basically four parts that we need for that. You'll see on this how it's kind of curved like that. That's going to sit on the bottom of the receiver here just like that. So then you're going to want to take your trigger and actually slide it in through there just like so. And then you want to obviously make sure that the holes line up and kind of put that like so. Okay. Then you're going to take your screw here, screw this back in. Then we're going to take our pin and line up the hole, stick it back in there. Alright, next we are going to go ahead and put the barrel back in the stock here. So you just want to kind of flip it over and you want to make sure everything's lined up. Make sure your barrel bands are at the very end, and then you just want to line it up here and stick it in there just like that till it's flush. Then you're going to flip it over. Then we're going to take our magazine and put that back in here just like so. And like I said during the first disassembly video, there's two screws. There's a long one and a short one. The short one goes on the bottom. We're going to take that, insert it right there. Go ahead and tighten that up. Alright, flip the gun over. And on top, we're going to put our long screw. Alright, and then what I'm going to do next is, there's really no order you have to do this in. I'm going to go ahead and put the metal butt plate back on. So I'm just going to take that, line everything up, and then take the two screws, get those started, put them in there. Then going back to the magazine, we could go ahead and put your spring back in here. You'll see that there's a little claw-like thing in here. We're going to press those together, make sure it's set like this, and then that little hook right there, we're going to hook that claw into, just like so, and close it up. Now that's in there. Flip it around here. Go ahead and put our barrel band back on. Fun part. Alright, so just going to take it like so. Drop your gun off the table. Like that. So you want to make sure the bigger barrel band is the one that goes on first. And then you also want to make sure these little notches in it are on the bottom, just so those aren't on the top. And then you're going to slide it back on. A little bit easier getting them on than getting them off. There you go. So they're locked in place, just like so. Next we could go ahead and put the cleaning rod back in, so just kind of slide that in under those grooves there, like so, and then screw it back in. So it's nice and tight. Alright, so to put the bayonet back on, you're going to take your spring, put it in there just like that, and then the bayonet's just going to kind of fit just right in there. You want to make sure you have it to where when you set it in there, the screws are going to line up. Just like so. Like that. That's how you want to have it lined up. Might take some time playing around with it, but you're going to kind of try and get this to fit in here. You might need to wiggle it around a bit and everything, but alright, just finish screwing that thing in there nice and tight. Alright. Sure. Works. There we go. And it works. Thank God, because that was not fun trying to get that on there. Alright, so we pretty much got everything put together back on here. The only other thing that we need to do is the bolt. So let's move on to that. Alright, so we're going to get to the Mosin bolt assembly now. And you do want to make sure you have one of these tools. Usually comes with the gun or in the cleaning kit. Definitely helps put this thing together. Alright, so to get started, you're going to take your firing pin and then you're going to put the spring back on there. And then you are going to take the bolt handle here, enter it in just like so. And then you want to make sure you have something that you don't mind, you don't want to dent your table. So I do have a pad underneath here, as well as I'm going to put it on this paper towel holder here. And you're going to put it in there and you want to push down with a lot of pressure, like so. And then you're going to take this, screw it on there. Alright, so then once you have that nice and flush, next part is we're going to take this part right here, and you'll notice on this side there's a rectangle right there. You want this part to slide right onto that. So put it together just like this. So it goes into that channel like so. Once that's on there, we are going to take this part, and you'll notice there's the big end that goes in first. Now you'll notice, kind of hard to see, that little square on the back is where this is going to go into. So you want it to go in just like that. And then you'll notice there's a square here that you want to go in here. So you're going to pull it up. Might have to pull it out a little bit, like so, to get that square in there just like that. So once that's complete, we're going to take your tool here, and this is where you check to make sure that your depth of the firing pin is set right, because or else it'll not hit the primer hard enough, or it'll hit it too hard. So you'll take your tool, you'll notice there's 4 little notches. The ones you need are the 2 in the middle. And the way you check it is, you want the firing pin to be a little bit bigger than this notch here, but you want it to not hit this middle one. So, it sounds confusing. But when you line it up like this, you check it, make sure it's just a little bit bigger than that notch, and then you want to make sure it's just shorter than that notch, which it is here. And then you also want to make sure on the back side here that, see those 2 little cuts in there? You want to make sure that your screw is just lined up with that to form a line. Alright, once that's good, you're going to kind of push your bolt into something again, and then see how it's at the 9 o'clock position right here? We want this to be 12 o'clock. So we're going to push that in, turn it about 45 degrees, just like so, and everything should be sturdy, and you're good to go. Alright, so the last thing you'll want to do is put the bolt back into the gun here. So what you want to do is just, while you're holding the trigger back, just slide it back in, let go of the trigger, and you're good. And then just do a couple function tests here. And we're good. So that is the full, basically reassembly of a Mosin Nagant M44. If you have any questions or anything, just feel free to let me know down in the comments. Thanks.